You served in Mirzapur before this, and you served in other in rural areas in UP before taking on this role with the Greater Noida Authority. What's the big difference you see here? And I want you to speak to that a little bit in comparison to others. In UP, for example, crime rates have changed a great deal in the last few years, and also this idea of livable cities that Sahil talks about. What's your focus on that, and how do you compare Greater Noida with other parts of UP at the moment?
See, Greater Noida, as I had mentioned before, it was a greenfield project, and the government wanted to develop a industrial city, industrial authority, and facilitate industrial development. So Greater Noida cannot be compared to other districts, and every district, like for instance Mirzapur I did serve, every district has got their own unique feature. For instance, in Mirzapur, which is an economic booster, is not industry per se, but it is religious tourism. There is a famous temple called Vindhyavasini temple, and a Vind corridor has been, newly commissioned by the government there. And the source of, the driver for economic growth in Mirzapur is religious tourism. And nearby we have this Prayagraj as well as Varanasi district, which makes it a kind of, a circuit kind of thing, where people have, an entire circuit to visit when they are in that area. So every city or every district has got their own unique features. It's not like, so development in that, it was identified at a later point of stage. Maybe they were back runners, but it doesn't mean that they don't have potential. So it was realized, and those cities and districts are being developed in such a manner that their strengths become their, drivers of growth. So it is in one way, maybe they are lagging behind, but they will be picking up very soon.
Sahil, you raised about 800 crores, Max raised about 800 crores in QIPs last year. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're investing that money and the big bets you're making and why?
Yeah, so we are focused, firstly, we are absolutely a very deep focused regional wise. Our belief is that you cannot do real estate pan-India. So we are focused on just the NCR region, which is Noida, Delhi and Gurgaon. Within that, our focus is very clear. Our ideology is that we want to create developments that enable well-being for people who either live there or work there. And the third lens that we take is to be able to live. We are currently catering to two segments, which is the senior living segment through our brand Antara, and the luxury residential segment through our brand Max Estates. And then we have the office segment, which is commercial developments that we rent out. So we are very focused in that sense in terms of our asset classes, where we operate, in the geography that we do. But more than that, it's a deeper purpose that we are connected to, which is the ability to truly bring well-being into each of our spaces. And we spend a lot of time, effort, energy, capital to be able to do that through nature, through F&B, nutrition, through art, through community, through our value of Seva Bhav, etc. Just to give you an example, in our development in Noida, we've done about a 600,000 square feet office space, and in the middle of that we've put a 15,000 square feet forest. So people walk through that to get to their work, and we believe through research that these aspects promote mental, physical, emotional and social well-being. And we spend 80% of our time in our life in the built environment, either in the offices or at residential, in our homes. So the impact of this is huge. So we are connected to this larger purpose, and we are trying to do it in a conservative way financially and in a deeply focused way geographically.
Sri Lakshmiji, we've also had in recent months this idea of New Noida, which has been put forward by the UP government, by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, which is about redeveloping about 84 or 85 village blocks into a totally new entity, just like Noida and Greater Noida. Now that will have an impact on Greater Noida and the way where you sit, but also on the larger economy of Western UP. So how do you see that kind of integrated development, both for where you are sitting, but also for the larger region, and in the context of Viksit Bharat by 2047? So
the development of this entire NCR region bordering Delhi, especially of Uttar Pradesh, has been, it began with Noida, and now in the second, later on Greater Noida was developed. These are all contiguous areas. So it, this new Noida is a region which is just adjacent to the greater Noida area. So it so happened that in Noida, there is a huge demand for land from the industry and the other investors. But because being an old city, the land bank has been somewhat saturated. So this area is being developed to cater to this rising demand. Entirely in the area of NCR, there is a huge demand for investment, be it industry or real estate or anything for that matter. So New Noida is one such, again, greenfield project which is under the process of development. In addition to that, adjacent to New Noida, there is a Yamuna Expressway project which is also underway, which is another region which is getting developed. So these all are contiguous parcels, and up to Agra, this entire area will be planned, well planned, as it happened with Greater Noida, so that it will cater to the rising demands of the industry, IT sector, institutions, and educational institution, all these things. And it will actually will be supplementary, not affecting the growth of another region per se.
So Sahil, at a very broader level, and I think you talked about developing the forested area, for example. In an age of climate change with huge climate fluctuations, we see what happens in the NCR region, the pollution every year, where it becomes unlivable for 3 or 4 months, and a lot of families then move out. Those who can afford to move out for some time, at least among the upper echelon of society. So as a builder, as a real estate developer, how does that change the way you look at your business models and in terms of sustainability in the environment that we are in now?
That's a great question. If you think about it, the tailwinds to the sector are the growing economy. I think everybody here discusses that, okay, if we don't have a great year, we may not grow 8%, but we'll grow 6%. I was just talking to some of your colleagues earlier. They were saying that India seems very well placed with what's happening at the global world today. With all of this, I think the growth is kind of given. We may have a few years of ups and downs, but the growth is given. The big risk is exactly what you said, that the cities don't become livable. And that's why we are talking about it. That's why we are trying to do more than we can do about it. And that's the main focus area, because the biggest risk to industry, to development, to society here is the ability that our cities get worse and not get more livable. If you look at it globally, by the way, London at one point was not a livable city. The pollution in London was so bad that people could not, there was disease that was rampant, but they fixed it. I understand that some cities in China have also been able to fix it. Right. So I think that there is an intention that has to start with oneself first, to be able to be more responsible, to do what we can, to, like we discussed, to make our cities more livable. And I think that's the big risk for all our business.
You mentioned London, and the Thames once used to be as dirty as the Yamuna, but now it's, and if you look at other great European cities, and now a cleanup of Yamuna has started in the NCR region. Let me put this to you. As an urban planner, what are your top 2-3 priorities in terms of building a livable city, and how should that change as we go forward with the environment changing around us?
So always the priority will be to give projects which are pro-environment, be it transport, be it developing buildings, buildings adhering to green building codes. They are even incentivized by giving them additional floor area ratio spaces, which is, if they get it certified, they get it free of cost. So there are n number of incentives as well as prioritization of the projects which are pro-environment in our authority. So this is one way that how we will be promoting this environment, and that will be our priority, that will remain, because we also believe the fact that unless the cities are sustainable and unless that future generations are their life is also, unless it is made safe, doesn't make sense only building up cities as for today. Concrete jungles are made out of nowhere, doesn't make sense. So our first priority will be to focus on pro-environment initiatives and projects. Second thing that we would like to, facilitate public transport. Like he had mentioned the example of London and many European countries, they promote public transport. They have no vehicle zones which are constructed. So these things are also, in the pipeline, providing for cycle tracks, pedestrian tracks and open spaces where people can just come get together and, no vehicle zones. These, we are also creating more of, bus ways so that more public transports are in place, and electronic buses are also being promoted in our. So that is our second priority, promotion of, public transport and public spaces. And the third thing is that, what he had also mentioned, like how he has made his building with a green space in the between, which is actually commendable, I must say. And such kind of initiatives, we need youth. When IT companies are there in our city, or more youth will be there only if they find the workplace and their living space.
And also the idea of social infrastructure, which Sahil pointed out, which I thought is an interesting thing. That's the difference between Noida and Gurgaon at the moment, right? In terms of really livable spaces where people can go out and feel safe at late night, for example.
Absolutely, and some part of that is also supply creating the demand. We definitely hope, that with the planned approach that the bureaucracy and the government is taking, with what they call the double engine government at both Delhi and in Haryana and in Uttar Pradesh today. So we are the most optimistic we've been, and we look forward to this very positively.